Generally, I have multiple ideas just kind of float in my head for some period of time, and I kind of marinate with these ideas, and kind of there comes an aha moment when creativity happens. But I have to say that my filmic or cinematic vision was to write a story which would talk about human bonding, compassion, healing, and eventually transformation.
When I was your age, I would be completely confused and asking a million questions and doing all sorts of different things. I guess with age, we all learn from our experience. And the first time we met, it's a gut feeling. I knew straight away. Once we started talking, that was the energy, that was the way he was thinking, that I knew this is me. This is, universe put us together to do this, and we're on a journey to do it. So for me, was no question, no doubt, because you feel that way. So far, it's been, my gut feeling has been my main kind of guide, which doesn't help in any interview. I can't tell you what was it. So I felt like that, and it's proven to be right. So I'm more than happy.
I'm used to film work. I wasn't new at that time. I'm not exactly new. And to be more pointed, I should mention here that I have always enjoyed working in films, which demands a lot from me, mentally, even physically. So this wasn't physically very tiring, except that I had to travel every morning to Bali. I won't call it a godforsaken place, but it's quite far from Kolkata.
First goal, I would say that is a personal goal, and I wanted to make a film. It was a 7 years journey. and I wanted to create a big canvas where I can put various my expertise into one place, such as my writing skills, my experience in psychology, my experience in directing musicals and things like that. So it's a bit of a personal goal. But I also wanted to create an universal goal about creating an awareness of issues of mental health, how people can kind of get really feel hopeless and completely shut down in their lives. But that is not the whole end of the story. It's about regaining a sense of belonging and creating a scaffolding where they can find really hope again, the meaning of their lives again. And this is very, very important and powerful for me to tell. So it's a kind of my life's vision of creating awareness about mental health and about human connections and bonding and the importance of compassion and kindness in our lives. That was kind of my universal goal, and partly was personal goal to make a film. And I think because the media is so powerful, I thought it would be good to tell and give my universal goals a shape through which I can speak widely. Look, I believe the idea came through my filmic vision of understanding that healing or transformation happens between the human connection between two people. I had a patient once who was a young person who had been shut down completely by trauma, and he didn't speak, he didn't walk, he lost all hope of life. And we felt that nothing worked, nothing in evidence-based Western medicine worked, except we give an unconditional positive human regard, which helped him to gradually transform his life. And similarly, I wanted to tell a story where two people or some people who are hopeless found some meaning in their lives through those human bonding and creating bridges, which is, I feel, the most universal human concept that we can tell through a cinema. And that was very important.
मैं 5 दिन के लिए गायब हो गई और मैं गोवा में एक आश्रम में चली गई योगा करने के लिए। मैं बहुत योगा करती हूँ, तो मेरा ये प्रिपरेशन था, क्योंकि मैं जानती थी कि इस रोल में मेरा इतना सोल लगेगा कि मुझे सिर्फ सेंटर्ड होना है, और वही मेरा प्रिपरेशन था। आई जस्ट नीडेड टू बी सेंटर्ड, आई नीडेड टू बी ऑनेस्ट, और मैं चाहती थी कि मैं कोई एक इमोशन मिस ना करूं जो मुझे फील करना है और जो मुझे लोगों को फील कराना है। वो मुझे एकदम आई शुड बी एबल टू फील लाइक कमरे में जितने लोग हैं उन्हें फील होना चाहिए, और जो लोग फिर देखेंगे उन्हें फील होना चाहिए, क्योंकि तनीमा कहती कुछ नहीं है। बट इफ आई कांट मेक पीपल फील, देन आई हैव फेल्ड। सो माय ओनली प्रिपरेशन वाज टू कनेक्ट with myself, to connect with my emotions, and like I said, मेरा हर रोज एक ही preparation रहता है, honesty.
The little bit of preparation that I always do when I get a worthwhile film to work in is I read the script not once, but quite a number of times. And I wait for the script to generate responses in me. I don't thirst my point of view on the script. That's not my way of doing things. I hope it will not sound immodest if I say that with my vast experience and very long life to hang around in this industry, I have seen human beings, I have seen their situations, so I could instinctively feel that I could sort of be able to percolate my experience into the film.
আমি অমিতের সঙ্গে এই ছবিটা করার আগে বহুবার বসেছি, এবং সবথেকে মজার ব্যাপার হচ্ছে যে ছবি নিয়ে ইদানিংকালে দেখা যায় যে ছবি নিয়ে কথা বলতে গেলে শুধু স্ক্রিপ্টের ওপর আমরা কথা বলি, কিন্তু সারপ্রাইজিংলি ব্রেড ছবিটা করতে গিয়ে আমরা স্ক্রিপ্ট তো করেছি, অবশ্যই স্ক্রিপ্ট নিয়ে আলোচনা করেছি, কিন্তু স্ক্রিপ্টের বাইরে আমরা অনেক মানবিক সম্পর্ক আর মানবিক ঘটনা নিয়ে আলোচনা করেছি, যেটা বোধহয় এই ছবিটা করতে আমাকে উদ্বুদ্ধ করে, বা এই ছবিটা করার যে মোটিভটা সেটা সম্পর্কে আমাকে কোথাও একটা সচেতন করে। তো এই সচেতনতাটাই বোধহয় একটা অ্যাক্টরকে অনেকটা প্রিপেয়ার করে দেয়। আনটারনালিস তুমি রিহার্সাল করা বা স্ক্রিপ্ট করা বা কস্টিউম মেকআপ সেগুলো তো আছেই, কিন্তু ভেতরটা মানে সোলটা যদি তৈরি না হয়, এগুলো সবটা বাহ্যিক। ওই সোলটা তৈরি করার জন্য অমিত পারমিতার সঙ্গে বসে এই যে আমাদের নানান রকমের মানবিক যে আলোচনা, মানুষের সম্পর্কের যে আলোচনা, সেটা আমাকে খুব হেল্প করেছে।
যে চরিত্রটায় একজন অভিনেতা অভিনয় করবে, সেই চরিত্রটার সাইকোলজিক্যাল এবং ফিলোসফিক্যাল পার্টটাকে ধরতে হবে। সাইকোলজিক্যাল চরিত্রটা কী ভাবে, কী চিন্তা করে, তার কতটা পজিটিভনেস, এই বাড়ি সম্পর্কে, বাড়ির মালিক সম্পর্কে কতটা কনসার্ন, তার মেন্টাল স্টেট, ফিলোসফিক্যালি সে এখন কোন জায়গায় দাঁড়িয়ে রয়েছে। তো সে তো 15 বছর বয়সে এসেছিল, তখন তো আর সে এত কিছু বুঝতো না। যত বয়স বেড়েছে এবং যত আস্তে আস্তে করে সংসারটা ভাঙতে ভাঙতে গিয়েছে, তত ওর মানসিক অ্যাটাচমেন্টটা বাড়তে পারছে এই মানুষটির সঙ্গে। তো সেই প্রিপারেশনটা নিতে হয়েছে, সেই মেন্টাল অ্যাটাচমেন্টটা কীভাবে তৈরি হয় সেই প্রিপারেশন নিতে হয়েছে।
It's not that what I want to say, they've been absolutely amazing, professional, responsible, engaged. They were very, very interested in the final result, which is basically why we are all together, because it wasn't a social event or gathering for any other reason but to make a film. So they all were really, really. I'm really, really pleased.
So we are putting our best foot forward to make the sound as non-noticeable as possible. So you should not be noticing the silence. You should feel the emptiness. That's the whole idea. So there is no silence probably, or there could be. And what I'm enjoying with the sound design is it's a parallel sound design. Like you might be seeing a thing and something else is altogether happening in the soundtrack. So that together is probably we are trying to create or evoke a certain emotion. Now that is, as I told you sometime back, that if that emotion is evoked in all of you, then probably we've been successful in doing what we are doing. If it doesn't, then we still have a lot of things to learn from these mistakes probably.
নদীর জলে নদীর দেহ
initially, my only instruction to the music director, and a very young, vibrant music director, Dishari, was that it has to go with the rhythm and the structure and the vision of the film. It should not come out like, look at me. Both the sound, the music has to be it has to blend in such a way. You do not look at music in a separate way. It has to enhance the flow and the gentleness, like the Ganges is flowing by in such a way that will move your soul. That was my only instruction to Dishari. So what I felt like, the sound and music has to be not only the part which has to blend with the film, but to enhance the emotions of the film. That was very, very important. It has to be minimal. It is a minimalistic sound and music. And we have to use a lot of silence and pauses in between the notes to enhance the music.
It was in England, and I think both our lives, I will talk on behalf of Amit as well, I think both our lives changed forever. The first thing that struck us is the loyalty to his art, the sincerity to his art. A person can be so sincere and so dedicated to his art, it was just impossible to believe. And that is where I think we started somehow to transform ourselves. You think that you want to do a lot of things. When I'm a singer, so I sing here and sing there, but the real dedication to be able to give up anything for your art.
Basically, when you're acting, it's like you have to put feelings in.
Okay,
You have to do as you are told.
that's very good.
When you're told something, like for instance, while you're talking, smile. You have to talk and smile. You have to do that. Like that sort.
So you have to follow instructions. So it's somewhat like school.
Yeah, I guess.
You could say that, okay. But when you have a lot of people around, does that sort of bother you? Because when you are, because the camera is looking at you, and you are not quite looking at the camera, but everybody is looking at you. How does that feel?
That feels a little, you feel a little nervous. It's kind of clear that everybody's just looking at you. So, but you don't pay attention to them. You just do what you're doing.
I was given instruction to sit there and just hold these mangoes in my hand and just act like as if I'm sad and annoyed by the people outside and all. That's all.
So it was easy?
Yeah.
Good. Would you think you'll become an actor later?
Depends.
কি হচ্ছে কি দ্যাট